Hello, everyone. Welcome. Episode 5 of my ComputerCraft Challenge. Today, we solve our food problem. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that yet, but we've got some water right here, we've got a diamond hoe, and we've got some seeds. So let's figure out how to get a farm planted. Just something quick and dirty, probably set it up right here. We need to get some stuff going because I am about to die from hunger. So in adventure mode, we still can't pick water up with the bucket. We'll have to get the turtle to do that. So, I am starving. This is going to be quick. And there it is. All right. Doesn't change the fact that we need to get food sorted. So let's get started working on that. I will get this little farm going. And then we will get into the episode for the day. All right, so I have him going right here, flattening out in a little 9x9 area so that we can put a farm down. I figured here was as good a spot as any, so hopefully we won't have to replace any of this. I just realized this is going to be dirt. So we'll probably have to replace a few of these blocks with dirt, but it'll be all right. And I do want to get a farmer going and a tree farmer going. So that'll be the goal for this episode, to get a couple of actually good programs running for those to make sure that we have everything we need going forward. And then in the next episode, I plan on starting working on our text editor and walking you guys through how we're going to set up that whole project and what the series is going to look like going forward. So to start, I'm going to go ahead and have this guy place down the other turtle. And we have our second turtle. Go ahead and give this guy a name. I believe that is the naming convention I was going with. Now, I don't think I can actually copy over any of the programs yet, because I will need sugarcane for that. And I have not seen any, if I remember correctly. There may have been some over here by the lake. Not that I'm seeing. But I will find some here in the near future. For the time being, I really just want to have this guy down and in the world, so that if we do something stupid and lose our first turtle, we're not just going to be stranded. We have a way of placing down other turtles and continuing the series. So real quick, we'll just refuel this guy. And let's go ahead and move him back into our little hole there. Pretty close. All right, everyone. This is a temporary program that I just made to fill in the dirt in this area. And I think this is a good opportunity to demonstrate the tab functionality of the file parser that I implemented recently. So I started out writing this first bit and then realized that I wanted to encase it all in another while loop at the top. So rather than having to indent this all by hand now, I put this tab flag and it will tab everything between these two flags when I run parse file on this temporary file. So let's run that now and make sure it works. And it says it finished successfully. So go ahead and see if it did. That looks right to me. Let's go ahead and run it and see if it does what we want to. All right, and it looks like it finished successfully. So the way this program works is the turtle will first attempt to place a block down, and if it can, then it will move forward and continue placing blocks down until it can no longer continue to move forward. Then it will move back to where it started and go over one row to the right and come back up to the top and see if it can place a block down. If it can, it will continue to do this process until there are no longer any rows to fill in. So now let's get this guy switched over to a farming turtle so that we can actually get some seeds planted down. But before we do that, I just realized we should probably get the water bucket placed down where we want the center of the farm to be, so I don't have to switch back to the pick to get the tilled soil to stay fertilized. So we'll go ahead and do that now. We'll just have him go forward 4, turn left and go forward another 4. And that should be the center of where we want the farm. We are now 1, 2, 3, 4 to this side. And we can go 1, 2, 3, 4 out here. We will go ahead and have him dig down and place down. There we go. I will go get the hoe and we will get this guy farming. Hey guys, so I realized while putting together this next clip that I forgot to hit record for this previous section. So I'm just gonna tell you what you missed. It wasn't that much really. I just swapped out the pickaxe for the hoe on this turtle here and used the flatten program to actually hoe out the ground right here, and then started putting together a planting program, which is where I realized that I had messed up the recording. So sorry for the interruption, and back to the show. So the first part of this little planting program, we're going to do one row. This is 1 through 8. We're going to select an inventory slot that has an item in it. Then we're going to try and place that item down and move forward. Then once we do the whole row, right here, we are going to place down again to make sure that we plant on the last row, because we're going to be placing down here and then moving forward. We're going to do that 8 times, which means we're going to end up here on the last row without planting anything. Then we're going to plant the next thing down and move over to the next row and go back. So we need to add the functionality for that. So we are going to go from 1 to 9, I believe. It will handle the turning here. So let's think through this real fast. If we go from 1 to 9, that's inclusive. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So right here, we're going to go ahead and put our if j is 9 clause, like we have on all of the other programs like this. To stop it from turning around on the last row. And let's try running this. So it would appear that the inventory management functionality is not working properly. Just let this finish running to make sure everything else is working. All right. Let's just add a little shell script at the end here to make it go home. believe that will work. And then we need to have it turn around. All right, let's see why this is not selecting. So while turtle.getItemCount for slot equal to 0. So let's go ahead and have it print turtle.getItemCount for slot. Well, that time it seemed to work. So let's try this again. I'm gonna stick that lily pad in there just to see if it will go find that slot, and then it will hopefully actually place it down over this water block like I want it to. And it does not seem to be working again. What is the problem? Oh, I know what the problem is. Here we need to actually have the turtle select the slot, because otherwise it just thinks that it has that slot selected when it actually doesn't. Now let's go ahead and run this again. We'll bring it back to the start here. All right, now let's run this. There it goes. And I could actually move that select statement outside of the while loop. That way it doesn't run through all of them. It'll save a little bit of time. I will do that as soon as it, yeah, and see there it gets stuck because there's nothing else in its inventory. So if I just move this outside of the while loop, it won't actually have to do the slot assignment, or the slot select, I should say, each time it runs the loop. And that will be just a little bit faster. All right, guys, I've been working on getting some stuff together. I went and got some sugar cane. I've been growing the crops, digging them up, planting them back down. So we're getting things moving. I've got one floppy disk made now, and I think I want to actually work on a custom API for inventory management for the turtles. So I'm going to start working on that now, and I will update you as we go. All right, let's test this out here. This should work. So let's show you what we've got here. This inventory API only has one function so far, and that is to list out all of the contents of the inventory. So first we create a table that will hold the data for the item names, and we loop through every inventory slot and check to see if the slot has an item in it. If it does, we will save the name of that item to the list table. Otherwise, we will just say that it is empty. I've just got the Minecraft prefix here on this empty for symmetry. I could just have these all be empty spaces or anything else really, because all this does when we come down here, we're just taking a substring of the name from 11 to the end of the string. And so this 11 is taking off the first 11 characters. And so it's just going to get rid of this Minecraft prefix with the colon, because that's how the name data is given from this get item detail function from the Turtle API. Then down here, we clear the screen and loop through the list array. We set the cursor position to 1 and then the middle of the screen alternating. And we set the Y position of the cursor to 1 plus every other time we will increment it by 1. So when I is 1, Y will be 1. When I is 2, Y will be 1. When I is 3, Y will go to 2. And it will keep increasing in that pattern. I know that's not a very good explanation, but that's the best way that I really know how to explain it. And I'm sure you guys understand just from watching the demo. This imod2 equals 1 and 0, or math.floor of width divided by 2. This is how you do a ternary statement in Lua. Is this something and something or something? So if this statement evaluates to true, then this whole statement will be equivalent to this first bit. And if this evaluates to false, then this statement will be the second bit. So every other time when I mod 2 is equal to 1, this is going to be 0, and then it is going to be half of the width. And we're just adding that to 1 to get the x position of the cursor. Setting the cursor to that position, and then writing the slot number and what is in that slot. Setting the cursor position to 1, 9, and then exiting the function. So that is how we list out the contents of the inventory. As you can see, we do have this loaded as an API. We can just call list here, and it lists out everything that is in the inventory. So if we were to pull some of these out, we could run it again. And now these ones that are empty change to empty. So that's how that works. I'm thinking we're probably going to be getting close to the end of the episode with how much I've done today. I'm going to go ahead and edit everything together and see where we're sitting, and I will come back and maybe go a little bit more, or we might have to call it, and I will see you guys in the next episode. But before I do that, I do want to show you, if we cd to the root directory real fast, we have this startup program, and this is what I'm using to load the APIs. So if we just edit startup real fast, you can see up here at the top, I'm just calling os.loadAPI and loading this inventory API, clearing the screen and changing to the users directory. This has actually been here since episode 1, this first part, and then I just added this load API. So whenever I shut down the computer and reload it, it will automatically put me inside the PASI directory, and it will have that inventory API already loaded and ready to go. That way I don't actually have to call load API in every program that I want to use that in. You can see it's got it already loaded.